Hi, it's Leah here, and it's good to see you. And I'm here, all cozied up. It's evening, late March. So gonna do a short info section at the beginning of this video for my books that I read. Yeah, not gonna say too much, just wanna quickly hint at why it's been so irregular. Not just me being late or lazy, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail either, but there has been a bigger tragedy in my real life that has just taken a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of, like you need to focus on one thing kind of thing. And I actually did make a video for, what was it, both December and January together, and I ended up hating that video, so I never posted it. And now stuff, well, it's obvious, but yeah, the tragedy doesn't vanish. But it's better, it's getting better, and I just felt like this lovely Sunday evening, hey, I want to talk about books. So I am back. That's all I'm gonna say about that, so yeah. And because of that, because I missed one full video, I have my iPad here, and I will do maybe a more shorter kind of, these were the books that I missed in the previous video kind of thing. And then I do have with me my books for that I finished in February. And yeah, so no more ado, let's get into that. If my iPad wants to open, there we go. So starting then with December 2025, which is very simple because I finished one book, and that's why I made a combo video for December and January. And I finished The Last Emperor, which is the third book in the Interdependency series by John Scalzi. So as much as I like parts of this story, for me this was definitely the weakest one of all the three. Not necessarily on where it was going story-wise, but I just found it a little bit lackluster. Like there wasn't so much of a grand finale, if you will, and I don't know, I just enjoyed the political intrigues and people playing in the backgrounds more in the first two books, and here it was more like, I can't really say because it's a rather big spoiler, but like a little bit, in my opinion, a shocking thing happened for the sake of a shocking thing happening, kind of. I saw it, yeah, coming a little bit, not out of nowhere, but it didn't make sense for the character, I think, kind of, yeah. And that was the only one that I finished in December because, and I said that, I think I said that in a previous video, I was also reading Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, which is so then now one of the January books. So I finished Anna Karenina, big tome, around 1,000 pages. I loved it. It has, to be very fair, it's such a long book, and it has like long stretches that are rather boring and sluggish and more difficult to get through. But the overarching story, the overarching theme, like family drama, it's not a romance story, by the way, like it's much more about family dynamics and social, you know, like how social, like how in social life you were perceived, and obviously it's I don't think that's a spoiler. It's about adultery, and how women versus men are viewed in society when it comes to that specific topic. And yeah, and I really loved it. It's also a lot like about like dealing with how society views you and dealing with what you yourself have done, and and so like some mental, not issues, but you know, we're all struggling sometimes with choices we've made, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a very, very long read. It did have the sections that I felt like could be way, way, way shorter, but all in all, I enjoyed it. And another January book was Seasons of Storm, which is one of the Witcher prequels. So I read the official series, or the first kind of series, so to speak, that we had. Really enjoyed that, and now I am starting to go through the prequels. As far as I know, there is only this one, Season of Storm, and then the one that came out, I think last year in 2025, which is Crossroads of Ravens or something like that, something Raven. So I have one more, and then I think I read them all. Anyway, about Season of Storm. So younger Geralt, I enjoyed it. Like, it had the Witcher feel. A neat little thing that I really liked was, it seems that because if you know the games, in the games Geralt carries both his silver sword and his steel sword always on him at the back, and in the original series he also has a silver sword and he also has a steel sword, but they're like more separate, so he usually uses one or the other, so it's not like they're constantly with him. But in the game, that was like one of the things used to identify a Witcher. If they would carry two swords on them, that was like one of the signs that this person could be a Witcher. And now in this prequel story, he took that with him, which I really enjoyed. And otherwise, it's actually a lot about his swords. He loses them. It happens very early on, so I don't think that's a spoiler. And it's a lot about like stuff that then happens and spirals. So then he needs to do that, and then he needs to do this. And one of the end goals is to get the swords back. It doesn't have like a huge impact on like lore or story-wise, or like a huge revelation about Geralt, but I just generally I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't the best, but it was enjoyable, especially if you like The Witcher. And the last one right? Yes, I think so. For January that I had finished was Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries by Andrzej Sapkowski for The Witcher, obviously, and Emily Wilde's is for Heather Fawcett, which is also the first book in the Emily Wilde's series. So this is a book where basically I think we are in London. I mean, we're not. We're in Iceland, where she goes to, but I think Emily's from London. So basically, in this world, fairy is real and is known and is studied. And she's like I now don't remember what they call it, but like a fairy analyst or whatever, like a professor of fairy in a sense. And that's why she's going, I think it's Iceland, I'm pretty sure. Going to Iceland to like study some fairies, like rare fairies that only appear there. And so it's basically we're following her in her studies, and get a lot of like she refers to textbooks, and then you get like footnotes, and also the way it's written in a style, it's like written like a diary, like notes that she would use to later on write her encyclopedia. All that I really enjoyed. I did have a slightly bigger gripe, and that's with Emily herself. To me, she was such a stereotypical character of, she's that awkward, shy, unsociable female lead that doesn't want to, again, meet or like talk with anyone, and if she meets someone, she's socially awkward. And I don't know if it's just me having happened to have read too many stories like that, but I'm so sick and tired of that character. They're so predictable, they're always the exact same, they're just always awkward, and they have to do everything alone because they're strong females, and it's I don't know, like there is many ways to make strong females. They don't just have to do everything completely on their own. Like, she doesn't everything on her own, but still she would like to. So you get that feeling, and I was just kind of tired of it, and it took me out of the story several times. I had to roll my eyes. There's also a love interest in this story, which is more prominent towards the end, but I also found that to be lacking. It's like those special tropes where it's teased constantly, but nothing comes of it. And I'm also like, yeah, that's almost like, I guess this is YA. It felt very YA. But she's 30 plus, so it's also not YA. I believe. So you'd think they're more adult about it, but they're not. They're behaving like teenagers. Yeah, so I gave it 3 stars. And the Karenina, by the way, 4. I probably will usually put the icons up. So. And Last Emperor was also 3, so it wasn't bad. I was just a bit disappointed. And Season of Storms, I also gave it 3. So now we have all of them caught up. And that's it. So those were both my 1 December book and is it 3? Yes, 3 January books. So putting my iPad away, safe and sound, so it doesn't fall down. That would suck. And now for February, let me see. We have these books here. Oh, I'm doing the shadow thing again. So I read 3 books in February, starting with a classic that is probably super well known, The Little Prince. Yay! Now I'm gonna see if I can say the name Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Don't know. Monsieur Antoine. I read it in English, but I actually since then I've bought it in French. It hasn't arrived yet. But because I do speak some French, so I wanted to read it in French, and I will. So I really enjoyed this one. This is a really classic, lovely, wholesome, nice children's book stories. The edition that I have, this very beautiful literary edition, supposedly also has the original illustrations from way back when. It's obviously one of the newer releases, so it's not like I didn't buy an old one. Ooh, sorry, my other book almost fell. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So so wholesome, and yeah, not much more to say. So it's about a little prince and the pilot who crashes in the desert, and he meets the little prince. The little prince tells him of his planet and of his flower, and yeah, and moral positive messages, and seeing the world like a child, when you draw a very simple drawing of a snake eating an elephant, that's something that could exist, and those weird adults, I think it's said so many times, owls are so weird. And when I was reading, you're onto it. So that was number 1. The second book that I read was let's have it not upside down. Nettle by Bex Hogan, I think. Yes. Again, fairy. I don't know. I guess I was in a fairy mood. So also here again, fairies are known. It's not a surprise, and people actively avoid it. I think we are more period, because in Emily Wilde's for modern day-ish. Mostly, I believe, maybe not super modern, but more on the modern side. Here, I believe we're not so much. I can't now fully recall why, because basically most of the story, Nettle here, which is the name of our protagonist, she gets whisked away into fairy very early on. So then basically we're spending the majority or all the rest of the book in. Or maybe she gets out, maybe she doesn't. So I don't wanna spoil that. But we're a lot in fairy, in the land of fairy. I mean by that. And so basically she gets tricked or captured or whatever you want to call it, lands in fairy, and then she has to do basically impossible tasks to a lord of the fairy realm, and but then it turns out they're not so impossible for her, and she finds loopholes in their magic and in their power to actually complete the task, even though all the odds are against her. And so this I enjoy much more. So she has a little bit of this also Emily Wilde, she's also a little bit socially awkward, but not as much, and she's actually trying and attempting to, okay, shit, now I landed in Faerie, fuck, what do I do? And she's like trying to, and she knows she needs to, yeah, interact with people and get people on her side in order to get out, which is her main goal. And we meet like different kinds of fairies, which I really enjoyed, and also other creatures, like both nice and malevolent. And there's also this one really kind of screwed up relationship. I guess this is slightly spoilery, but also not, where like because one of the known tropes in general with fairy folklore is that they steal human children. And then here this was used sometimes that these kids grow up in Faerie, but they're basically slaves, like playthings, and that was like a very dark turn on it. But I enjoyed that. I made it less YA, yeah. And then we have like this shadow fairy, which is then one of the, because when they steal a kid, they usually leave a changeling, so which is a fairy in the human world. And if that fairy manages to get back, they become a shadow fairy. And I just enjoyed that this lore was kind of expanded on. So I enjoyed this one much more than Emily Wilde, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, this one, I mean, Emily Wilde wasn't bad. It's just I had my eye rolling moments with it. But yeah, Nettle, I really enjoyed this one. This was very cute. But also, again, not only cute, it had some darker touch to it. And like the thread of fairy was real, like they were nice. They were not nice, let's pronounce that properly. Alright, and last book, number 3 from February 2026 was The Wind in the Willows, another classic by Kenneth Grahame. So funny enough, even though I do love children, we just talked about the Little Prince, I do love children's story, but this one just didn't sit well with me. So otherwise we follow like these cute forest animals, and it's like in short story format-ish. Like usually it does have chronologically a little bit that happens, but I can't really put my finger on why this didn't sit well with me. There's one specific thing that I do remember, and this might be slightly spoilery, but I guess this is such an old book, so it might not matter too much. But like a certain animal, I'm not gonna spoil who, does like something bad, basically criminal. It would be if it was in the human world. And the moral of the story is to break out of prison. And it's just, or attempted, and that's fine. And like other animals are helping that animal. And I don't know, that just kind of annoyed me. It's like, is that really what we want to put in a children's story? And so that was one thing that I specifically remember. The rest I don't fully remember. It just didn't, I don't know, just didn't work for me. That happens. It doesn't always have to have a specific reason. So. But yeah, and that was book number 3. And that's it. So those were now 3 months in one video in less than 20 minutes, but that's okay. Yeah, I do intend to continue these. Just talking about books that I'm reading. I do enjoy talking about books, and in real life I don't know too many people reading. So it's nice to just yap into my camera. Yeah, I guess we leave it here. These are my books, and we have the iPad. Should I lift it up too? Does that make sense? No, I'm cutting that out. Alright, that's all. Gonna go. Yeah, nothing more to say. Take care of yourself. See ya next month, hopefully. A bit earlier. Bye.